Hello and welcome to the Bearded Horror Review. My name is Dan, aka the Boogey Man, and on this show I will watch a horror movie, either a classic or a new release, talk about some good points, talk about some bad points, if there are any of either, give it a rating out of 10 if I remember to do it, and let you know if I think the film is worth a watch or not, in my humble opinion. And on this episode I'm going to be watching the new release, I'm going to be talking about the new release of Until Dawn, the adaption of the video game of the same name. Now, the video game has a load of fans. You know, it was really popular when it came out. It was kind of a new experience. It's more of a walking simulator. It's a really good story. It's got Rami Malek in it, and it's just a really cool game. You know, I played it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I had fun with it. I didn't think it was the best game in the world, but it's not my kind of game. But a lot of people really love it, and they've been asking for a film. So Sony, who still have their film PlayStation Studios thing going on, decided to adapt Until Dawn. So let's talk about it. Before we carry on, guys, if you can leave a like and subscribe, it's a little thing for you, but it really helps out the channel and it would mean a lot to me, especially if you're enjoying these reviews and the trailer reactions I do and all the other stuff that I do. Thanks a lot. So yeah, Until Dawn. Let's talk about Until Dawn, because I had to watch it, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say straight away, when it comes to this film, I'm going to be doing spoilers. Usually I would try and avoid spoilers, but there's a lot to talk about with this film, and it's spoilers. Spoilers. And so you can imagine from me saying that, I didn't like this movie very much. And if you've probably seen the thumbnail, you will see that I definitely didn't like this movie. Let's kind of unpack why.
Up the road, that's why people get into trouble.
So the film is based around these replaceable 20-something actors. I don't remember any of their names, and I really don't care. You know that I don't care. Usually I might even put their actors' names up here, so I really don't care. And one of them's sister died, and we know that because she keeps telling us. Everyone keeps saying, oh yeah, you know when my sister died? Oh hey, didn't your sister die? Yeah, we get it, your sister died. Oh no, but remember though, we're here because my sister died. Your sister died!
I didn't say that. And
they've been doing a road trip of sorts, kind of going through her last steps or something. It's pretty vague. And there's this one spot that these people who seem to don't know each other or like each other, really have no chemistry whatsoever, but it says they're best friends except for one dude who's been dating one girl for 3 months. To be fair, if she asked me to go somewhere, I was like dating her, and she asked me to go somewhere, I would go with her.
Looks like it too.
Anyway, and they come across a creepy gas station, and it's the devil from Constantine, and he tells them that, oh, you know, people go missing from this place down the way all the time. They go there, and they're kind of trapped in a storm, but once they get to this place, the storm disappears, but it surrounds the place. Can you see that this thing is convoluted already? And then it turns out that this place has got some kind of weird supernatural thing going on where, spoiler, I mean, it's not a spoiler, but it's a spoiler, but I already said spoilers, so who cares? They all die. But then they come back to life. And it turns out that they've got to survive the night. So they've got to survive until dawn from whatever's trying to kill them. And if they do, they will escape. Or they will become a part of the night. This film is dumb. It's so... Right. There's a good idea there of saying you have to survive the night, and you'll keep having to go over and over until you get it right, or until you run out of chances. There is a good idea in that. But that's one, it's executed poorly. And two, that's not Until Dawn. I understand what they were thinking. They were thinking, okay, what we need to do is take the premise of replayability, that when you play Until Dawn, the video game, your decisions create the outcome of the end of the game. But you don't restart. There's loads of characters in the game, and your decisions will make them live or die, essentially. And then you'll get to the end of the game and it'll give you an outcome. And there's loads of outcomes. But if you want a different outcome, you have to play the game again and make different decisions. It doesn't change the scenario. It doesn't change the setting. It doesn't change, the characters. It just goes, this is the decision you have now, left or right, or up or down, or whatever. But in this film, they've gone, okay, well, the decisions change the outcome. So we will have them a night, and if they make decisions that get them killed, they have to start over again. But why? There's no explanation why, and it gives about 4 or 5 different reasons and rules that don't make sense. So, for example, they say that you have to survive the night, and something is going to try and kill you. But every single time, it's going to be something different. But then also they said the reason why this is happening is this town was built on it was a mining town, and they dug too deep and it caused a massive collapse, and a bunch of people died. 1,000 people died in this mining collapse. But then there's a witch there at one point, and she says you're all just like them, and she tells them the rule of survive the night or become part of the night.
If we want to survive, we have to make it until dawn.
But then there's a rule where if you come in, one of you will die, and then you will have, one of you has to die, but then the rest of you can get to the end of the night and then leave. But then there's this idea of you can't just wait out the night, and everything is changing constantly. And then there's this thing of what will happen is if you spend a certain number of nights there, you will turn into a Wendigo, but everybody's amount of time is different. And then there's this idea that it's because of trauma. And then there's this idea that everything is happening because this place latches onto one person, and that person's psyche manifests all the things that we're seeing. It's like they had a million ideas and they could not pick one. It is all over the place. The rules don't make sense. They're all dumb. There's still no explanation by the end of it. It's not an Until Dawn movie. It is Groundhog Day. It is Happy Death Day. And the problem is, as I said at the start of the video, there are some good ideas in it. The idea of having to replay the night over and over, because when they die, they come back and they are slightly less. It's like in a game when you've got 100 HP and then you die and you come back and you've got 70 HP. There's this idea that the lingering injuries are there. And the further more nights you do, you will degrade. And you start slowly turning into a monster. And then you become part of the night. That's a good idea. It gets worse, it gets harder. And the fact that there's something different, every time. But some of the stuff in this is just ridiculous. Also, if it latches onto a person's psyche and creates monsters from that, there's a bit at the start of the film with the sister that died, because the sister died. I don't know if they mentioned it at any point in the film. The sister died. And she is killed she's chased by a Wendigo, and then she's killed by the same masked, serial killer that's like a throwback to the game that shows up in the rest of the film with a group of different people. So why would that person manifest the same thing as a different person when they've got completely different psyches? Also, why is the rule of one person has to die and the rest can leave? What if only one person goes there, like the sister at the start of the film? Why is the rule of you get up to 13 tries? Because that's how many it is. It says no one ever goes above 13. But why is it some people only got 5 tries? Why is it that there was a witch there that kind of gave this idea of, and gave this idea of that she might have been involved in it, and she gave them rules of how to survive. It's just so inconsistent. It's so dumb. And you know what? Everything has to be explained to you. And the one person who's actually kind of smart in the film is portrayed as an asshole. Where actually, it's the boyfriend, for the 3-month-long boyfriend. Where actually, everything he says is really smart. He films everything, so later on in the film, instead of having the 13 nights actually happen, there's only a couple, and then there's inserts, 2-minute segment where they just show clips from other nights and little things happening, because obviously they didn't have the budget.
I'm just gonna grab it. Okay. Don't move.
Yeah. Oh, what?
But they do stuff like that. They treat him like a bad guy, and there's so many lines in it where it's just they throw back to stuff, and they say something that they make think it's meaningful. Like someone says, "Oh God, I prefer the idea of Nino, and I wouldn't be doing this again because it makes this one time more meaningful." That comes back later on in the film, and it's just stuff like that. They do that all the time. Also, it seems ridiculously unfair. Like, it's always like, you just survive the night. So there's stuff like you get away from a serial killer. Or, okay, understand that. Or hide from the creatures and just be able to get away from these creatures. But earlier in the film, the serial killer seems impervious. Then by the end of the film, he's not impervious for some reason. There's a bit in the film where drinking water, no matter how much it is, 1 drop or 2, will make them literally explode. I will say, in fairness to this film, the effects, the practical effects and the gore and the kills that they do look pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, they look pretty good looking kills. Especially there's that one bit in the exploding scene where, for some reason, one of the characters only explodes a bit at a time. Like, her leg blows up, and then her insides blow up, and then her head blows up, and it looks really good. The effects look great. There's a bit where someone's head gets smashed in with a giant hammer. Looks great. But the rules are so inconsistent. It was just bad dialogue. Everything had to be explained. But they explained everything which didn't make any sense because there was no actual consistency, or what they thought they were explaining made you just want to go, yeah, but why does that work like that? Or what is this? What is this place? And the stupid inconsistency is what I think when I talk about bad writing. I think some people think I want a film to be bad, where I don't. I want it to be good. I want good film, for God's sake. And when I talk about this, and I see it, and I heard when I left the cinema with my friend, who I took with me, who I kind of regretted, and I apologised to her afterwards. The 2 people were like, "Oh, that was good, wasn't it?" And I was like, "Fair enough, if you enjoyed it, yeah, cool, you enjoyed it." But for me, I can't sit there and hear bad dialogue and hear stuff that doesn't make sense. Here's something that really annoyed me. I don't want to swear. Really annoyed me about this film. Right, okay, so when they go to this place, it's like a guest house, it's like a hotel, you know, like in the middle of nowhere. And they go inside and they find the reception and the guest book, and, you know, they sign in the guest book, and there's like stuff all around to show that this is the lobby of this building. Later on in the film, you find out that this is the first floor, or Americans, you would say second floor. But this is the first floor of the building because of the earthquake and the mining accident. The actual bottom floor of this house is underground. And so it's got like doors and windows and stuff in it. Well, that doesn't make sense, because why was the reception area upstairs? Why downstairs in this building that's now, you know, now underneath ground? Why is the downstairs area like a library that doesn't have like a proper entrance for people to come in and sign in and stuff? It's that kind of blatant disregard for logic and good writing, and they're just slapping stuff together and in hope it comes like up like a kind of coherent story, and they're just stringing it around this really loose idea that really makes a film bad for me. And you can say all you want, like, oh, you know, it's just a horror film, and oh, it was, you know, it was a bit of fun. But it wasn't fun because I was constantly, didn't care about any of the characters, except the one guy I did care about. Everyone was like, they wanted him to be a bad guy because he was just a voice of reason. 2, the dialogue was awful, and I hated every word that everybody said. It was so cheesy. It was like reading 60-year-old men write for 20-year-old women. 3, there was so much logical inconsistencies and stuff that didn't make sense. I spent half the film questioning what was going on. And at the end of the day, they all get out, they all survive, and it's apparently about trauma and overcoming trauma and all this stuff. Where actually, it's not. It's just they wanted to put a bunch of stuff in like a bunch of different things in, and they wanted to take references to the game. And I'll say this, as a horror film, it's meh. It's mediocre. I know horror films aren't always the best when it comes to story and stuff like that. It's mediocre. It's got good kills in it. As I've said, and the effects were good. I'll give it that. But as an Until Dawn film, which this is, you can't ignore the fact that this is an adaptation from the game series. And this is what a lot of studios do. They adapt a game, and they don't adapt the game. They adapt the game in name only. This is not a good Until Dawn film. This is a different film that they have slapped Until Dawn on. This is not Until Dawn. This is, we've got Until Dawn at home. And yeah, so yeah, that was Until Dawn. For me, for the effects and stuff, and whatever, it's a 4 out of 10. I thought it was, it was a waste of potential. And as an Until Dawn film, it is bad. But what did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you like the gore effects? What did you think about the characters and the story? Are you fans of the game Until Dawn? Let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Head over to my Instagram and follow me over there. Links are down below. And until the next time, guys, happy watching.